And good day. This is Kent, and this is the board podcast for January the 21st. Now, the technology people are tied up today. It may not be sent until tomorrow, but that will be fine. I just wanted to share some ideas with you regarding a couple of things. Yesterday, on January the 20th, I received 100 emails. Now, while not all of them were about budget, the vast majority were in response to the podcast that I've been sending. So, now that's not a scientific study, and I don't have it broken down by gender or anything, but I think getting, 80 to 85 emails regarding your podcast or forms of communication is really good. Also, the Oakland Press, Steve Fry with the Oakland Press, he's putting the podcast link on their website. MLive, the Flint Journal, is putting it on their website. The Holly Express is putting it on, obviously, their website. So we're getting some good publicity from this, some good press. Obviously, when we get the new program from Apple, we'll be able to do much better as far as being able to insert graphs, being able to insert a lot of different kind of things, not just sort of the rudimentary podcast that we're doing now. But combining this with ConnectEd and a lot of other things that we're doing at the building level, I think it's a good idea. There will be an additional podcast going out on Friday, I'm hopeful, because Senator Bishop put out something that he wants all school districts to have their administrative costs at 28% or less, and there's a list of 211 districts that the administrative costs are above 28%, and we're on that list. I went livid. Because when you check into it, they're counting interest on loans. We borrowed $3 million for cash flow. They're counting heating and cooling bills and such things like that. I'll be meeting with Steve this afternoon to clarify exactly the details of that, and I'll be sending out another podcast and a Barnesgram on that. I was so aggravated. I just don't know. It's political balderdash at its best. Because people will read that and think that 28% of our budget deals with principals and central office staff and all that, and that's just not true. So I want you to know that's forthcoming. I'm sorry for the faux pas on the Finance Committee meeting on Monday night. What I'd like to try to do is schedule one for February the 15th, because I believe that is between our two meetings on February the 8th and February the 22nd. And I'd like for the Finance Committee to meet on that date so that we can talk about some different kinds of things and some possible recommendations. What I am telling people, and I will stick with, the final list of recommendations will not be forthcoming until March 15th. The rumor, gossip, and innuendo mill is running rampant as always, and I've almost got to the point, even among our own staff, it's just a joke. I heard this and I heard that. I'm not discussing this with anybody. I'm just listening at this point. What I do want to try to have for the budget, well, I won't try, I will have, for the Finance Committee on February 15th, Mr. Newcomb, Mr. Lennar, and I talked about having $2.7 million worth of reductions, what it would look like. That doesn't mean that would be the final recommendations, but what would $2.7 million worth of reductions look like? And I'll have that. As always, I appreciate the board. What's ironic is that tomorrow I'm going to be meeting with Mr. Mullins, the attorney for this suit over religious distribution of materials, which I think is a joke, but anybody can sue you for these kind of things. I'm not doubting the woman's right to take this action, but I just do not see how we want to allow the religious distribution of materials, and they're viewing it from their viewpoint, but for within a 10-mile radius, there are over 25 denominations, religious denominations in this area, and I would assume that all of them would want to promulgate their own organization. So after Friday's meeting, I'll give you sort of an update, and we'll see what happens. But as always, thank you so much for all that you do, And I will send out tomorrow by email a little update on the budget, not budget, but on the board meeting. This is our board meeting list, and I'm sure if you went to Board Book, you've seen them. Much of it is consent agenda. Some of it will not take very long, but I do want to give you a little information regarding 105 and 105C prior to Monday night, because if we're going to do anything, we have to do it now. And as always, I appreciate you all very much, and we'll look forward to Monday evening, and we'll see if Mr. Bishop, Senator Bishop, gets any requests for clarification of how he came up with those percentages. Interesting. It's always fun. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.